a great deal of military and civilian coordination went into pushing the Nestorian tribes out of Hakkari area. For the first, the entire district was transferred to the province of Mosul, so that the valley of Mosul, whose name was Haidar Bey, could actually command a military force into this. He could bring up fresh troops. At the same time, different Kurdish tribes from 3 different directions were focused on this area. And while the Nestorians were very good shots and they made their own guns and ammunition, they were no match for howitzers and machine guns and the like. So it took not very many months to push them out of the area, but it is clear that this was a decision that was discussed in the government itself. Okay. This is a typical document from the Ottoman archives. This is sent from the Ministry of the Interior. If you cannot read it, it doesn't matter. It's very difficult to read. It's in a script called Osmanli. Even Turkish historians must go special courses in order to learn how to read this, and some people try to avoid it. But this is the order of deportation of the Nestorian Assyrians. And the remarkable thing, besides the fact that no one knows about this, is that it comes before the war has actually started. The war actually is declared at the beginning of November between Russia and the Ottoman Empire, and this comes on the 26th of October. It's also one of the documents in the appendix to the book, but I'll now, and it comes from the Ministry of Interior, Talat, and he motivates it like this. The Nestorians, this is the word that was always used at that time for Assyrians within the Turkish Empire. The Nestorians have always remained suspect to the government due to their predisposition to be influenced by foreigners and become a channel and an instrument for them. And it's pretty sure he means by foreigners the Russians, but it might also mean the English. Because of the operation and the efforts in Persia that we are planning, the concern of the government over the Nestorians has increased, particularly about those who are found along our border with Iran. Now, the government's lack of trust in them results in their chastisement. It's a mild word. Their deportation and expulsion from their locations to suitable provinces such as Ankara and Konya. If you know Turkish geography, that's way west where they're living. They are to be transferred and dispersed so that they henceforth will not live together in a mass, but will live exclusively among Muslim people, and in no location are they to exceed 20 dwellings. So, the government will not undertake to provide any type of support while they are on their way. They will be permitted to be to stay, and preparations for this matter to depart from Van should be done by the valley. The remarkable thing is that the Assyrians themselves knew nothing about this order of deportation. the sister of Marshimun, the religious and secular leader of the Nestorian tribes. Her name is Urmia, and she wrote what is a kind of a chronicle of the war years. And she writes that in surprise that the Turkish authorities had begun to arrest Assyrian farmers and artisans in the borderlands. And she also reports the murder by the government of 50 men who had been brought from the border to Bashkala, the local capital city. Even in the westernmost district, which is far from the border, Bevar, peasant dwellings were sacked and women abducted. And obviously these actions must be seen in the light of the deportation order and people refusing to be removed from their homes, just like the Armenians would protest against being removed. And this is the beginning of a whole series of massacres and local mass executions that begin in the autumn of 1914 and go into and up to May 1915, when Marshimun and the Nestorian tribes, according to what is stated and legend, declare war on the Ottoman Empire. Now, some Turkish historians take this declaration of war, which I haven't found the text to, but many people refer to it who are reliable, as an excuse for saying, well, they declared war on us, they deserved everything they got. Now, from an international law point of view, even at that time, before the FN, the United Nations had made its genocide declaration, it was a crime against humanity to kill unarmed civilians, women, children, and even soldiers who were unarmed. And the elimination of entire peoples were also crimes against international law, both for the Assyrians and for the Armenians. Now, I won't talk much more at all in order that we will have time for questions. This book, it contains much more than just what happened in Hakkari and in Iran. It also deals with what happened in Mardin, Diyarbekir, Bhutan, other areas, also the successful defense of a town called Azakh on the border to Syria, in which a small Syrian Orthodox village, including also Armenians who had been rescued from the caravans, managed to stave off a Turkish army. And there are about 20 telegrams from the Ministry of War about this little village. And because the Turks could not conquer this village, they wanted even the Germans who were there in the area to be involved. And so this was even discussed in the German government, what to do with little Azakh.